I still remember the crack of that gunshot like it split my whole world wide open. I was standing on my porch, half awake with a mug of black coffee, watching the sun crawl over my pasture. When one single blast shattered the calm, and right behind it, my boy's scream. High, sharp, tearing through my ribs like a blade. That sound got me moving before my mind even caught up. I damn near threw myself down the porch steps, boots hitting dirt so hard I thought I'd roll an ankle, but I didn't care. I just knew my boy was screaming and something awful had happened. By the time I skidded around the stable, I saw Luke, my 10-year-old, crumpled on his knees in the tall grass, arms wrapped around Daisy, his tiny therapy horse. The one he'd raised since she was barely bigger than a big dog. She wasn't moving. Her coat, white and caramel, soaked in red. I hit the ground next to him so hard my knees dug furrows in the dirt. I pressed my palm to her side, begging for something, anything, but she was already gone. And when I looked up, trying to make sense of the world spinning in my skull, I saw him, two guys in camo stepping right through my busted fence, rifles slung like they owned the place. One of them actually laughed. I swear on my father's grave, said, "Better not be touching our dear buddy." I said, and Lord knows how I didn't choke on my rage. That's not a damn deer. That's my son's horse, on my land. What the hell are you doing here? The tall one shrugged like this was a joke. Some lady from the homeowners association said we could hunt back here. Public range or something. I felt my chest go hollow. HOA permission. That word, HOA, it had been the thorn in my side since the day we moved our family to this old patch of Wyoming pasture. We bought 10 acres just beyond the manicured subdivision lines because we wanted space for Luke to breathe, to learn calm, to grow up knowing the feel of dirt and sun and fur instead of concrete and fences. And yet somehow, a lady named Cheryl Whitmore had decided that my land, my hard-earned land, was hers to manage. Like some self-elected queen, I didn't even answer those hunters. I heard Luke behind me, sobbing like his ribs were going to split open, and all I could do was lift him in my arms and say, "Go inside. Son, tell Mama to call the sheriff. Daddy's got business to settle." I walked up that hill and Cheryl was standing there, her pink sun hat bobbing above the grass, arms folded, lips puckered like she was about to scold a child for dirty boots. I stopped inches from her and said, low enough so Luke wouldn't hear, "You let strangers with guns on my land?" She barely blinked, just sniffed like she smelled something bad. "It's an eyesore, Nolan. Weeds and old sheds. You weren't using it properly. The community deserves access to all the green space it can get." "It's my green space," I snapped. "And now my boy's best friend is dead because you wanted to play park ranger. You got anything else to say before the sheriff gets here?" Cheryl shrugged, dead in the eyes. "It was just a pony. Kids get over things." I pulled out my phone right then and hit record. "Say that again, Cheryl." She flinched, pride held her mouth tight, but she spat it out anyway. "I said it was just a pony." "Good. That's all I needed." I turned and walked back to my house with my hands shaking so bad I could barely keep the phone steady. My wife, Tara, was on the porch already, Luke buried in her side, face blotchy and red. "The sheriff's on the way," she whispered. "What are you going to do, Nolan?" "Whatever it takes," I said, and for the first time in years, I meant it with every bone in me. They found more than they bargained for that day. Those hunters slipped off before the deputies arrived. But my drone, one of those cheap farm models we used to track the herd, caught him dumping bait and a map near the creek. Turns out Cheryl had printed fake community trail permits, sold them to hobby hunters under the table, and given them our gate code like it was a coupon for free meat. That broke something deep in me. Not just the law, not just my fence, but trust. And trust is hard to fix once it's gone rotten. I gathered up every scrap of paper, every recording, every security clip, and I called my cousin Dean, a lawyer 2 towns over. The kind of man who never met a crooked HOA he didn't want to gut alive. Dean said, "Nolan, you got enough here for trespass, fraud, maybe even organized land theft if you dig deeper. But be ready, HOA Karens like Cheryl, they don't go quiet. They double down. And boy, did she." 2 days after we buried Daisy under the old oak, Luke and I built a little white arch over her grave, hung her pink halter from it. Cheryl pulled up with some hotshot lawyer in a cheap suit. They handed us a citation, unauthorized structure on shared community greenbelt. Remove within 5 business days or face daily fines. Tara laughed, not because it was funny, but because the rage had nowhere else to go. I told Cheryl right there on the driveway. Touch one nail on that memorial, and I swear you'll wish you'd stayed in your HOA palace. She said, with that poison honey voice, rules are rules, Nolan. Don't be difficult. That night, someone torched the memorial. Middle of the night, smoke woke us before the flames did. I dragged a garden hose through sparks and cinders, but by the time the fire truck arrived, it was ashes. And Luke, he didn't cry that time. He just stood there barefoot in the dew, staring at the black mark where Daisy used to stand. He turned to me, voice small but strong. They hate us, don't they? Maybe, I said, my throat raw. But they're gonna fear us more. Turns out, Cheryl's HOA was rotten top to bottom. Stephanie Miller, ex-board secretary, came forward with emails, bank records, even receipts for community improvements that were really her cousin's landscaping bill. Ted Ramsey, an old surveyor, proved our fence line hadn't changed in 70 years. My cousin Dean built a case so tight you couldn't squeeze a blade of grass through it. But Cheryl, she didn't fold. She called a secret vote to seize our land, called it eminent domain for recreational benefit. We weren't supposed to find out, but Ted's wife overheard it at the post office. That's how small towns work. Secrets don't last long when folks still gossip while buying stamps. So when Cheryl strutted into that packed HOA clubhouse for her big land seizure vote, guess who walked in right behind her? Me, Tara, Luke, and half the folks she bullied for years. I stepped right up to her podium, dropped a stack of deeds, maps, and a flash drive on the table. Before you vote to steal my ranch, I said loud enough for the back row to hear, maybe you want to see what Cheryl's been hiding from all y'all. Fake maps, illegal hunting passes, bribes paid out of your dues. The room went dead silent. Then Luke stepped up, his idea, not mine, and said into that old squeaky microphone, she killed my horse. She said it was just a pony. But Daisy helped me talk when I was too scared. She helped me be brave. I swear, a grown man near the snack table started crying into his styrofoam cup. Cheryl squealed something about slander, but by then Officer Peterson from the sheriff's department was standing behind her with cuffs in his hand. You're done, ma'am, he said. Plenty of folks ready to talk now. And just like that, Queen Cheryl of the Hollow Creek HOA went from pastel cardigans and garden brunches to an orange jumpsuit and county lockup. Fraud, trespass, arson, conspiracy. She'll be explaining that to a judge for a long time. I wish I could say that was the end of it. Truth is, bad roots run deep. After Cheryl fell, a developer showed up waving phony documents, claiming he owned part of our back pasture. Same dirty playbook, new suit and tie. We fought that too, held a press conference. Luke gave another speech, and the people listened, again. A year later, Daisy's resting place is more than a grave. It's the heart of what we now call the Daisy Strong Ranch. Kids come here for free riding lessons, therapy sessions, or just to breathe a little easier under wide blue sky. Some days I still wake up before dawn, coffee in hand, and stare out across that fence line. Sometimes I wonder if peace ever really sticks in this world. But then I hear Luke laughing in the barn with Buttercup, his new pony. And I figure that's enough peace for me. If you made it this far, I got one favor to ask. Drop me a comment below. Tell me, do you think a person should ever have the right to tell another family how to live on their own land? Or did we do right fighting back, even when it cost us sleep, money, and tears? Hit that like button if you believe sometimes standing up is worth it, and share this so folks know. Even the smallest voice can roar when it's telling the truth.